Now let's look at another linear system. Solve by the substitution method. We have the equation x equals y plus 4 and a second equation 3x plus 7y equals negative 18. In the substitution method, our first step would be to solve for one of the variables in one of the equations. We can see that our first equation is already in the correct format. We're going to use the fact that x equals y plus 4 and substitute into our second equation as follows. We'll have 3 multiplied times y plus 4 plus 7y equals negative 18. Now, in doing the substitution, notice that we now have a single equation with a single variable. We're able to solve that equation now. We can use distributive property of multiplication over addition to begin with. 3 times y is 3y, plus 3 times 4 is 12. Next, let's combine like terms. We see 3y plus 7y is 10y. We have our plus 12 equals negative 18. Now, to isolate the term with our variable in it, we're going to subtract 12 from both sides of the equation. When we subtract 12 from the left-hand side of the equation, we're left with 10y. When we subtract 12 from negative 18, we're left with negative 30. Now we can solve for y by dividing both sides of the equation by 10. 10y divided by 10 is y, and negative 30 divided by 10 is negative 3. Now that we've found a value for y, we're going to back substitute into one of our equations. In this case, the equation we want to back substitute in is the one that's solved for x. So we're going to take the value of y that we just found, that's negative 3, substitute for y, and come up with our x value equals negative 3 plus 4, which is 1. So the solution that's proposed is 1 comma negative 3. Let's double check that in both equations. We would have our x value of 1 equals a negative 3 plus 4. Negative 3 plus 4 is 1, and so our first equation checks. Let's now try it in the second equation. We'll have 3 multiplied times our x value of 1 plus 7 multiplied times negative 3. We want to see whether or not that equals a negative 18. 3 times 1 is 3, plus 7 times 3 is 7 times negative 3, that is negative 21. And negative 21 plus 3 is negative 18. And so our solution checks in both equations, which tells us it's correct.